Hey, I was just wondering if you wanted to get maybe. Yeah, we could. Tonight? Lightning bolt. Love's not a lightning bolt. Stop!
Step into Pet. 3 words to sum it up: obsession, control, madness. I'll reveal their twisted story, key flick facts, and whether Pet is worth your time. The film opens with Seth. He notices a girl on his bus home.
Holly, right? Holly Garling.
I'm sorry.
Seth.
Do we know each other?
Westbrook.
Oh, were you in my class?
Holly, his old high school classmate. She doesn't remember him, as she was popular while Seth was the awkward outsider. Arriving at home, Seth seemed to think about the figure of Holly, who was indeed very beautiful. He tried to find her Facebook account through an internet search engine until finally Seth found Holly's Facebook account. What interested him more was that in her account, there was a photo of Holly with her dog. The next day, Seth asked the security at work about how to attract a woman and also how to deal with it. Do we have to just accept it, or is there another way to get it? The security says that as a man, we must be prepared for whatever the outcome will be, whether the woman will accept our love or not. A moment later, Seth's boss called him and said that this shelter was full due to the large number of abandoned animals.
Seth, Dr. Jessup needs your help. He's putting down the German Shepherd in 34.
Lexi.
Look, you're a sweet guy, but if you can't do your job, I'll find someone who can. Is that clear?
This is done so that the cage can be used for other dogs. Even though he objected and didn't have the heart towards his beloved dog, named Lexi, Seth had to accept that one of the dogs there had to be eliminated in order to empty the cage, which was already over capacity. After returning home, Seth began to do his action again on how to attract Holly. In accordance with the security directive, which said that Seth must be confident, which is the main capital, then Seth went to the restaurant where Holly worked.
Hey, how are you? I'm Holly. I'll be taking care of you.
Must be a rider.
Sorry?
A rider. The disguise from the bus. We met a couple of days ago on the bus.
But that actually made her feel annoyed because it was still working hours. It seems that Holly really isn't interested in Seth. It's like the North and South magnetic poles are put together where each is opposite to the other, and there is no meeting point. Seth seemed to be at him, and while Holly ignored him from this, Seth looked a little irritated. Despite being turned down, Seth still follows Holly after work. This made Holly even more scared. Seth even found out where Holly lived. Holly herself lives with Claire, her best friend, where the two of them are very close and often spend time together drinking. A moment later, Holly's cell phone rang, and it turned out to be Eric, her boyfriend. Actually, if Seth knew that Holly already had a boyfriend, he would feel very disappointed and hurt. The next day, when Holly arrived at the restaurant, she received a bouquet of roses, which were indeed her favorite flowers. She assumed that they had been sent by Eric. In fact, it was a flower delivery from Seth embedded in a greeting card saying, "Be mine." Holly then went to the bar where Eric worked to say thank you, but Eric was confused because he never sent the flowers, which made Holly immediately suspect that the person who sent the flowers was Seth. Sure enough, a moment later, Seth appeared and immediately approached Holly. Seth argued that he just wanted to chat.
You like the flowers?
What are you, like, following me or something?
What? No, just can I talk to you?
Don't touch me. Move.
Just let me talk.
He immediately collapsed when Eric beat him. Seth could only endure the pain and shame. This is where his brutal soul began to grow, where he was humiliated in public like that. When Seth was about to leave the bar, he accidentally found Holly's diary fallen on the floor. Seth took Holly's diary and read it when he got home. One thing that surprised Seth was that the girl was suffering from an illness. This made Seth take the initiative to help her. We don't know what was in Holly's diary. Seth immediately went to the captivity and headed to the basement and saw a tutorial on how to make a large cage. After everything was ready, Seth followed Holly on the way home from work. Holly realized that she was being followed, even so paranoid that Holly sprayed the eyes of the bum she hit with chili spray. Seth continued to follow Holly to her house. He immediately carried out the action by going into Holly's room and then smothering and anesthetizing her, and then putting her in a cardboard box and kidnapping her. When Seth arrived at the shelter, Seth was suspected by security with the big box he was carrying. He said that his boss had called in the middle of the night and was told to deliver the order.
Sign in.
But the security didn't hear her. Then Seth appeared, who brought Holly food and a stool, but was rebuffed by Holly, so Seth took the food back. The next day, Seth went straight to Holly, who was very weak. From this, we know why Seth did this to Holly. So not only was he obsessed Seth's reason for kidnapping Holly's treatment and confining Holly, but apparently there was something else in Holly that was different from most people. The oddity in question is that Holly has a split personality, so the girlfriend who greets her at her house is just an imaginary friend, while Holly thinks that Claire is real, and she often talks to her even though it's all just a diversion, so she doesn't feel lonely. It's clear that this is a psychological disorder.
I might not be able to save you.
It all started when Seth read Holly's diary, which contained notes on her life, and also told the truth. While Claire is indeed a real person, when she is caught having an affair with Eric, Holly's boyfriend, he immediately steps on the gas, causing a fatal accident that leaves Claire dying. It was then that Holly killed casually with a smile. From there, her personality disorder arose, and she even always thought that Claire was still alive. Apparently, Holly is a cold-blooded female maniac where she has killed many men to avenge herself for her heartache. Seth did all of this because he wanted to save Holly, so he wouldn't be caught by the police. Day after day, Seth kept thinking about how to cure Holly, which made his job neglected, because he rarely took care of dogs. Even his boss was complaining because of his negligence. One day, when Seth wasn't at the shelter, the security started getting suspicious of his movements. How shocked was the security when he entered the basement warehouse and found a woman locked up like a dog. Suddenly, Seth apparently Holly had succeeded in influencing Seth from behind, so he could because the body of the security was large. This is where the plot twist for him to fend off Seth's attacks, and even pushed Seth until he collapsed. And how strange Holly was when she pushed the security's leg away, then instead ordered Seth to kill him because she always wanted to be with him.
Use the cinder block. He's moving. Come on, use it. Come on. Do it again.
Now Holly is actually controlling Seth. However, Seth feels very guilty for killing his co-worker. With Holly's direction, Seth is asked to remove the security by mutilating his body. Not only that, Holly told Seth to give the security's internal organs to the dogs of the shelter. So without realizing it, it was Seth who was now Holly's slave. You could say that Holly is a very intelligent psychopath, because even though she is locked up, she can still control someone easily. Because the security was missing without a trace, the police investigated the case. Seth did not escape the investigation, but according to Holly's instructions, Seth was able to provide an alibi so that he could convince the detective. Seth feels trapped in an unplanned situation where his initial intention was that he only wanted to cure Holly from her bad habit of killing.
I know what you're doing. It's not gonna work. Just talk to me. Please.
It's over, Seth.
The strange Holly asks Seth for something weird. She asks Seth to cut a finger for her as a token of his love for her. Seth, who is naive and geeky, simply believes in the psychopath's machinations. Because he already loved her, he was willing to cut his own finger in front of Holly. But when Seth was off guard, Holly snatched the knife from Seth's hand and threatened to kill herself if Seth didn't open the cage. It was because of his obsession with Holly that Seth had no other choice but to open the cage. When Holly came out, she kissed Seth and immediately slit his throat, and then just left him there. Several months after the incident, Holly is now back to her normal life and living with Eric, her boyfriend. Holly also found out from Eric's cell phone that he was now having an affair again. This, of course, made her so angry that she intended to kill Eric with a knife that was nearby. But suddenly Eric begged her to get his phone so Holly wouldn't kill him. Then we learn Holly still kept the pet in an abandoned building, Seth. He was still alive, imprisoned just as he once imprisoned her. Now Holly used him as an outlet for her anger, and Seth's terrible condition showed her cruelty, his disfigured face, the cuts, even missing fingers. Yet Seth obeyed her and kissed her hand, proving he stayed by choice, out of twisted love. Meanwhile, Holly's psychotic behavior kept escalating as she repeated this pattern with other victims. The film ends without a clear resolution. Pet isn't just a psychological thriller. It's a study of identity, trauma, and the dark corners of human obsession. The film uncovers how loneliness distorts reality, how hidden wounds shape behavior, and how control can become a substitute for connection. Seth's desperation reflects the universal fear of invisibility, while Holly embodies the unsettling truth that danger often hides behind beauty, charm, and charisma. Their twisted dynamic raises uncomfortable questions. What happens when affection becomes possession? How fragile is the boundary between victim and predator? And what parts of ourselves do we sacrifice just to feel seen? Flick mirror. The cage in Pet represents the prisons we build in our minds, the fantasies, illusions, and delusions we cling to in order to avoid loneliness. Both characters live inside versions of each other that never truly existed. Flick fact. The script was crafted to disrupt audience instincts, not to make viewers choose a hero or villain, but to force them into a psychological gray zone. Every twist challenges the morality of empathy, power, and self-deception. Pet is a chilling character study where obsession replaces love, identity fractures under pressure, and dominance becomes the only language these broken souls understand. It isn't about violence. It's about the slow erosion of boundaries and humanity. The film builds tension with precision, revealing layer by layer who is controlling whom, until the final moments leave you questioning who is truly imprisoned. On the Flick verdict scale, this movie is a must-watch. Deeply unsettling, psychologically sharp, and boldly different from typical thrillers. Pet delivers a haunting examination of manipulation, dependency, and the monsters that live behind ordinary faces. If this psychological descent hit you as hard as it did me, smash that like button, subscribe for more intense film deep dives, and ring the bell so you never miss a new Flick Favorites breakdown. Comment below, who do you think was the real villain, Seth or Holly?